Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and about a month ago I posted a video where I told you all that I suffer from tinnitus, which is basically a ringing in both of my ears from being a musician and being exposed to excess noise levels for years and years and years. So what I want to talk about today are some of the steps that I've taken and some of the gear that I've used to try and make my ears not suffer so badly while still finding enjoyment in the sounds that are coming out when I do play guitar. So if you're somebody that already has tinnitus, or you're somebody who just wants to take precautionary measures so you don't potentially have to suffer from it later on in life, you might find this useful. Now, I'm only going to be talking about a few products in this video. However, I have no affiliation with any of these brands. This was all stuff that I paid for out of my own pocket. I do have an affiliate link. If you do want to try any of this stuff out, and it's available at Tolman Guitar Center, it would help out the channel if you did purchase it using that, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. But sales pitch thing out of the way here. The very first thing that I tried was something I already had in the room, and that was the Tone King's attenuator that's built into the Gremlin. The Tone King Gremlin is an amplifier that I have had for well over a year, and I absolutely love the thing. There's a reason why I've used it in so many guitar demos and performances, because it just sounds awesome. However, the attenuator is not something that I used as much as I probably should have been. In its stock form, it's very, very, very useful by itself. I enjoy the fact that you still maintain the majority of the feel when you play the guitar, when you use the attenuation up to a certain point. Once you get to 2 clicks from the bottom and below, I feel like you really start losing it. But up until that point, it's almost indifferent. It's almost exactly the same as far as the feel goes when you're actually playing, and I absolutely love that. But the problem with that was going to limit me to just that amplifier. And I have 2 other amplifiers that I absolutely love and I really enjoy playing. So I went out and I purchased the Iron Man 2. However, while I was waiting for the Iron Man 2 to arrive at my house, I did try something else that was a lot less expensive than that whole attenuator unit was, and that was earplugs. We actually tried 2 different kinds. The first were the generic ones that you could buy at CVS. I think you get 30 pairs for $9.99. Let me tell you something. As far as reducing the actual levels of the sound, they did a pretty darn good job. As far as doing anything as far as keeping a lot of the fidelity, not very good at all. So if you just want to protect your ears and you don't care about the quality of the sound that's getting into your noggin, maybe that's a good shout. Or if you want to go to a very loud concert, cool. And then the second thing I tried though were these brand called Heroes. Now those kept a lot more of the high end. It didn't sound like I was underwater like I did with the stock generic CVS headphones, but it was not that much better. The good news is, if you want to try those out, you can get them for like $25 a pair, and they're absolutely better than the ones that you can get off the shelf at your local pharmacy. However, eventually this did show up, and I did make a video doing a full review of this unit. I absolutely love it. It allows me to use all the amplifiers silently if I want, right into the DAW, but more importantly for me, because I like noise in the room, it does give all the amplifiers the ability to be attenuated. It is an absolute godsend. But there was one thing that was missing as the final piece of the puzzle here, because as good as this unit is, on the back you have the one emulated microphone output and you have a line out. The emulated microphone output is nice for convenience. If you were just sending something to the front of house and it didn't need to be a perfect signal, or you weren't being really picky with the recording, it would do a very adequate job at it. But if you're somebody like me who's a little bit more neurotic, it kind of isn't exactly a one-size-fit-all, especially considering it's only one emulation, multiple different amplifiers, you're gonna not have an optimized sort of rig. And that led me to say, you know what? Let's try the line out from this into the computer and mess around with some plugins. So just as a recap here, I'm plugging the guitar into the amplifier. The amplifier is hooked up to the Iron Man 2. There's a line out going from the Iron Man 2 into my audio interface, which is connected to my computer. And from there, I know it sounds much more complicated than it actually really is, especially if you're not familiar with this tech stuff. I was sending it into the IRs, which are virtual cabinets from the plugins that I already have. I tried the Neural DSPs, some of the Tone King ones, some of the Soldano ones that actually worked really well, and I used in a few demos with the Friedman Pink Taco version 2. But you know, it's one of those things where if you're not right near your computer, it might not be the most practical thing, and you're still kind of menu diving and all that fun stuff. And what I wanted to do was just have something that I could take with me anywhere and always have the same exact sound without relying on a laptop or a computer, because the less that you can bring to a gig, the absolute better. And that led me to where we are today and the solution that I have come up with. And we're right back where I started in my digital gear adventure at the Line 6 HX Stomp. However, this time, I really know what this thing is capable of, and I'm using it for far more than I would have ever imagined. Talking about the setup that we just had, where I was going right into the computer, now I have the line out from the attenuator going right into this. And in each different preset that I have it optimized for the Vox, for the Tone King, and for the Friedman. So I don't have to do any dancing near the laptop. I simply click a button on this thing and boom, I'm ready to go with whichever amp I want. Another really cool thing about this is it's a set and a forget. I'm all done. I could just turn it on, and that makes me really happy because that's more time that I could spend playing or recording guitar. Now, another really cool thing about this particular setup is for amplifiers that don't have any built-in effects, like there's no spring reverb on the Friedman Pink Taco or the Tone King. There's also no tremolo on either of those, and Lord knows neither of them are coming with delays. I can have this going after the fact, and if I wanted to, I could use this as an extra effects loop because this has an effects loop built into it. Use the feed from the attenuator into this, use my pedals in the effects loop if I want to get that picky, and then send it straight out, and it's perfect. And then there's everything else that this thing offers, and I'm not going to go over the laundry list of things. You have infinite effects, infinite different amplifiers. If I needed to play on a silent stage, this would be all I would need to bring, and I could be able to bypass any of the other amplifiers and just rock any sounds through this, through the virtual amps, all set to go. So this may have seemed like a very expensive way to go about finding my solution that I have found, but the reason why I'm okay with it, and I'm going to break down some of the alternatives that I considered but ended up opting against. If you went with the Universal Audio aux, the attenuator on that is not ideal whatsoever. You're really, really dependent on the computer for a lot of the effects and limited with the effects, especially compared to this. It's not going to work as a standalone rig. You would still need to bring an amplifier head with you, even on a silent stage. That kind of sucks in that situation. And at the end of the day, the price of that is pretty much the same as the price of this and the Iron Man 2. The two notes, the attenuator, same thing, not the best. And also, you know, it is what it is as far as the noise that's also going to come from those units. One thing I didn't mention that I love about the Iron Man 2 is it is silent when being used. And it doesn't matter how hard you're pushing any amplifier. It's just dead silent, whereas with the two notes it can be a little bit loud and not something that I really found myself liking, and I found that I was playing too much inside of the software and it just wasn't for me. But if you have a Line 6 HX Stomp or a Helix and you're interested in having some of the presets that I've made for the offset guitars and to model some of these amplifiers, let me know in the comments down below. I can find a way to get them onto the audiomomusic.com website. But that's it for today. Take your health seriously, protect your ears, do enjoy the music, have fun, you know, but be safe. I really can't stress it enough because the ringing, sometimes it really still drives me absolutely crazy. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was of help to somebody out there. And yeah, that's it. That's how we've been getting the sounds lately. Play your guitar, have a great day, tell somebody that you love, that you do love them, and I'm out of here. Take it easy.